Hi guys, welcome back to Better Developer Docs. In this video, I'm going to talk about optimizing your WordPress site for page speed, specifically at mobile. In this particular video, I'm going to talk about how you can optimize images in your site. In the previous video, we implemented a CDN, specifically Cloudflare CDN. So if you didn't catch that video, go back and do that step. It's free and significantly improves our page speed. But yeah, in this one, images. So images are usually the first thing that I notice about client websites that are slow. Usually people upload images that are too large and uncompressed, and therefore this adds a lot of page weight to our site. Um, so yeah, let's get into it. The first point is to attempt to use a theme or a design that is not overly heavy on images. For example, you don't need 45 images in a pop-up usually, unless you're maybe like a photographer or an architect or something like that. If you're not in a business or topic which requires heavy amounts of imagery, then avoid things like that. So try and use a design which doesn't have a lot of page weight. For example, images to reduce page weight. So for example, this website on the post page, which this is the website, sorry, the URL on the site which I'm analyzing for page speed. We really don't have a lot of images here. What I did do is I went into the customize area of my theme, and depending on your theme, this may differ, but mine gives me some options over the single post um, options, and I actually removed the featured image. So if I add that back in, it will print out an image, the featured image for this blog post at the top. But in my particular case, the image is not particularly relevant. Most people need the actual text and the code that I'm presenting on the page rather than the image. So I remove this, and this gives me a slight page speed increase by doing that. I do have some images on the site, but on this particular page that we're optimizing, I don't have many. For the images that I do have, these are being compressed, and which brings us to the next point, or one of the further points. Actually, before we get to compression plugins, if you do rely, if your website does rely on images as a key part of it, then think about using a specific CDN service for images. Cloudflare has one that you can use, and in the previous video, I showed you how to set up a Cloudflare account. I showed you how to set up the free account, which is useful, but doesn't cover images specifically. So you might have to pay for that if you want that. But yeah, it's there if you need it. The next thing to think about is to try and upload images which are appropriate for their placement and display in the website. So if you have, just to give you an idea, if I go to this page here about hosting, you'll see that I've got images, one image for each of these posts, right? And these images don't display bigger than this, really, or much bigger than this. So in my particular case, I don't need to upload an image that's 2,000 pixels wide in order to get a quality image here, right? Or here. I can upload something that's, probably 300 pixels wide, and that would be perfectly appropriate for my theme. If so have a think about where in your theme or how in your theme the images present, and then don't upload images that are much bigger than where they present, and you'll automatically be uploading images which are smaller, which is going to in effect have a decrease in the page size, which is going to have a direct effect on the load time. So yeah, have a think about that. The other thing to understand is that inside of your WordPress settings, there's going to be some default settings for your images. So if you go down to settings and then media, you'll see that there are a small, medium, and large, or a thumbnail size, medium, and large width and height dimensions for images that you upload. So if you know that your images never display larger than 1200 pixels or 600 pixels or whatever, you can set the max to be whatever that max is, and then that will ensure that anyone who uploads images that are actually too wide or high, that they will be automatically resized upon upload. So that's useful. And then the last thing to think about is to use a compression plugin. I use one called TinyPNG, and you can just go to your plugins area, go to add new, and then search for TinyPNG, install and activate, and you don't have to do anything after that. It will automatically compress your images when you add a new image into the media library. So when you select a file and upload it, TinyPNG will actually, in the background, automatically compress that file even further, so that you're getting as little page weight coming from images as is possible for your design. So yeah, that's pretty much it for images. If you implement those things, you're kind of doing as much as you can really for reducing the image size. So we're going to wrap it up here, but in the next video, I'm going to be talking about reducing the number of requests, and how that can reduce your page speed time as well. The requests are this measurement here in Pingdom page speed tools. Um, the the theme that you're using uses a certain amount of requests, file requests from the server, and the lower that we get that number, the faster our page is going to load. So really that process just involves like having a theme which uses as little requests as possible, and also having plugins which use as little requests as possible. In addition to that, we also can optimize the requests that are necessary for a site, and therefore gain a page speed improvement on that. So check out the card for the next video, and we'll go through that process. I'll also put up another card to a longer video, which is like a real life example of me optimizing a real life client website, which is good for showing you the troubleshooting that you need to go through, the different nuances, the different settings, the different logic around plugins and optimizing those in a real life example. This is real life, but it's not covering all the different aspects. So I'm going to put up a longer video, which is useful for the nuances and troubleshooting involved in page speed optimization. Thanks, guys. We'll catch you in the next one.